Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, my friends. This is Tyra Jarvis with Kefi Coaching, and I come to you live every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Pacific time, and we've been talking about mindset, motivation, and transformation, and that is no different today. So I just hope that you're doing well and you're starting to get ready to deal with spring and have some fun with maybe hopefully some better weather. Get yourself outside a little bit and maybe look for things that you want to do differently in second quarter, whatever that might be. And I just want you to know that I'm here to help you any way that I can. So today what I thought I would talk about is what makes us unique. And I believe that there's a variety of things, but I've come to be focusing most recently on our background, our history, our upbringing. And although those should not be limits for you, if they do happen to be, fortunately enough for you, strengths for you, you want to acknowledge those. And I don't know if it was reflecting on National Women's History Month last month or whatever, but I did some reflecting and rear view mirror looking at the people in my life and felt that there really were a lot of themes and attributes and characteristics that, whether you believe it's in my DNA or whether it came from in those early formative years, developing some opinions about myself and my self-esteem and my self-confidence and maybe my identity, how I saw myself, really did come. It's rooted there. Now, but that's not to say that that was the only story, because when I look at the strengths that I have developed, maybe my natural strengths and ones that I've acquired throughout my life and my career and my work experience, and then experiences, personal experiences as well as work experiences, all of those combined create this, what I would say is that foundation for you to create whatever else is next for you. And so when I, again, look back and I look at the experiences in my life, what I found was there was a repeated path that I followed throughout a variety of experiences in my life. The ones that I kind of want to share about today is, when I first entered high school, I was really inspired by the cheerleaders. They were leaders, they were physically active. I love that. And I said, I want to be a cheerleader. And I had no idea what that would take. And I had never even questioned whether it was realistic or not. So the first opportunity I had to try out, I did. I wasn't successful. And so I kind of picked myself up and I started working right away on getting ready for the next year. And I was successful my senior year. And I would say that is maybe one of the first defining moments in my life where I became a student leader. I kind of broke out of maybe some cultural stereotypes that might have been forced upon me, if you will. And I loved that experience. I truly did. I loved the leadership of it. I loved the creativity of it, the teamwork of it. I loved being on student government. And it really cut my first teeth, if you will, on leadership. The next thing is that I went to work right away. Although I was admitted to college right away, that was not a big deal with my family. My family was blue collar. You get a good job with benefits. Here, we've got a job for you. And my mom worked for the phone company and she helped me get my first job. And when I got in there, it was something that I thought I always wanted, was to go to work for the phone company and have a good job with benefits. And within a very short period of time, I went, is this all there is to this? I mean, I was stuck immediately. And I had a second level manager that said, if you really want to make a career for yourself here, you're going to have to be willing to invest in yourself, invest in your education. You're going to have to be willing to relocate. You're not going to get promoted in place. That's just not going to happen. And at this point, I really did want to get promoted. I wanted to get promoted to management. I thought that that would be something that would be what I really aspired to have. And so I eventually started going to school. And I was going to school, working full time and going to school. And I had my eye on a couple of things. One, I set a vision on having an MBA by the time I was 35. And at this point, I was probably 25. And I had a, excuse me, a vision on a program they had. They had a program called Obtain Degree While Employed, where they considered you for direct management positions that they were hiring other college graduates for, and only 1% of the employees that earned degrees ever really qualified for that program. So raise the bar. I'm going to go after that. You had to have a certain GPA. So there was a lot of rigor and determination around maintaining my grades and taking the right courses and doing everything that I needed to have. And, you know, I'm pleased to say that I did earn both my bachelor's and my MBA working full-time. My MBA probably came closer to 40, not 35. I'm the first member of both sides of my family to earn a college degree. But those skills and being able to sacrifice time to study and do schoolwork, and as well as the benefits of really investing in yourself, were really, really big. I also decided that I wanted to do a non-traditional job. I wanted to experience that once. I was a phone company career person. I was going to learn how to drive a truck and be on a crew and do all of that. And for 7 years, I was a cable maintenance splicer. Very demanding job. It really challenged my schoolwork. But I did it. And I learned in that job, by doing that in parallel with everything else, that there wasn't anything I couldn't do. There might be things that I didn't want to do, but nobody wanted to do those things. It wasn't that I didn't want to do them because I was a woman. And once I realized and removed the gender out of that conversation, it was, again, one of the foundational defining moments in my life where I recognized I could do whatever I wanted to do. So I did eventually, after 2 attempts, get into splicing. After 2 attempts, I went into that Obtain Degree While Employed program. I got promoted. I got relocated to the Bay Area. All of that really worked. And it was reinforcing this transformation path that I live. And, you know, then come to find out, you know, in my second marriage, pretty early on, my husband is diagnosed with cancer. I don't really understand a lot of what happened. You know, it's a bigger story than we have time for today. But what I want you to know is that I was working in a job that wasn't fulfilling. I wasn't doing everything that I really wanted to be able to do. And I wanted to leave and actually finally go figure out what I wanted to be when I grew up. Excuse me. My husband wasn't comfortable with that, but we managed to work it out. Excuse me. Some of you may know that story, but I ended up giving 90 days notice and leaving that job with the full intention of taking the summer off and really creating this next stage in my life. And he had a reoccurrence of cancer. And my very first day off work was in oncology. And I do believe that by this point, the experiences that I'd had and the courage that I had and my project skills and my intensity and my determination, I set off to manage this health crisis. Initially, obviously, I thought we were going to save him and he was going to, you know, recover. But that was not the case. And he ended up passing from cancer. And, you know, that's another whole story for another day. But those same skills, that same, you know, set aside determination, be responsible, you know, make a plan happen, create it, do it, make it happen, was what was repeated for me. And I used those skills and I used it through that experience. And, you know, when he did pass, I was in another defining moment. I had 2 grown stepdaughters. They'd lost their birth mom when they were teenagers, and now they'd lost their dad. And, you know, by this point, I had lost both my parents as well. It doesn't matter how old you are. You feel like an orphan when you've lost your parents. And I wasn't sure what was going to be next for me, and I certainly wasn't sure what was going to be next for them. But I set aside on the fact that we were going to get through that first year together, and that we were going to experience those anniversary dates together. And through the course of that, we were going to have this opportunity to recreate a family if that was what was destined for us. And I didn't know where they would be. At this point, they were both single. They didn't live in the area, but my youngest stepdaughter moved back. She lived with me for a year. During that year, every anniversary, we did something to commemorate that together. And by the end of that first year, I feel that that was a success. And when I look back on it today, both of my daughters are in relationships. They have families of their own, and we are a family. We are a family. I redefined family, and I am moved, touched, and inspired all the time by being a part of their life. And I have 3 gorgeous granddaughters as a result of that. And so when I look at the entrepreneurial skills that I gained early in my career and looking for opportunities and all the things that I did there, I believe it set me up to be an entrepreneur and a business owner, which is what I do today. And, you know, my ideal clients are successful women leaders, regardless of what sector. They're either business owners, executives, or entrepreneurs themselves, and they're looking to create some transformation in their life. And this is what I teach. And it's the walk. I've walked the talk. I've done it. And so this path has repeated, and it's the one that I teach, and it's the one that I help my clients with. And a couple of client examples. Morning, Jenny. Forgive me for this, but one of my clients wanted to buy a house and didn't feel that unless she was married, she could buy a house. And we removed that roadblock. And within a very short period of time, she created a plan and made it happen. And although the first house fell through, the second house happened, and she's now a homeowner. I have another client who wanted to retire from AT&T after 44 years. She tried numerous times. It was just, I don't know if it was too scary or not convenient or whatever. This time she decided she wanted to do it. It was the start of COVID. She didn't think it was a good time, and we stayed the course all last year. We did all the work, all the rigor that was needed to get herself ready, and she interviewed in the August-September time period, and she landed a new job with the state of California, and she's just completed her 6-month probationary period in that job, and she's excelled at it. So she was able to retire last year and make that happen. And another client wanted to sell her business last year. And when we started to work together mid-year, she self-admitted that she just thought we'd have a plan by the end of the year. Well, you don't know what you're going to get, but you are determined to make it happen, and you set a course to get there. And we did. We made this happen. And it wasn't maybe exactly the way we thought it was going to happen, but she had a plan. She had a 6-month plan. By the end of the year, we were going to sell the business. And she had, some issues. She had to negotiate some relationships, get some resources. She found her own buyer. She had to deal with brokers. She had to deal with all of that. And we worked together to remove those roadblocks to make that happen. And she had a letter of intent before the end of the year, and she had a check in hand in the first of the year. And she's now, redoing her career, basically. She's working for them for a time as an employee, to ensure a smooth transition. All of her people retained their jobs. They all actually got pay increases. So it was better than we thought it really could be. So I mention these examples and of my own stories, as well as, the stories of these few clients, because if you're struggling right now, if you're having a challenge and you're looking at, we're in April, second quarter, COVID's ready to bust, and you're not really sure what to do or what you want to do, I want to encourage you to take advantage of my free transformation breakthrough session. I think it can really help you. In 30 minutes, I'm going to tell you, you'll have the clarity to distinguish the real gap that you want to address. You'll have a simple plan mapped out that will allow you to get unstuck and moving forward quickly. And you're going to have the certainty and the next right action to take. Maybe not all of them, but you'll have the next right action to take. So we really could, shift something for you in a very short period of time. So I'm going to encourage you to go to my website, tyrajarvis.com/free-session, and sign up for my free session. And if you haven't already, I'm going to encourage you to drop down my Fulfillment Formula audio program. It's where I talk about the foundation and the bridge to practicing fulfillment every day, whatever shows up in your life. And I think it can be really powerful for you. And if I can help you in any way, please reach out. I would really appreciate being able to be part of the solution set that helps you create this life that you really want for yourself. So with that, I'm going to close. This is a wrap for this Transformation Tuesday. I'll see you next Tuesday, 8 a.m. Pacific time. We'll figure out some way to create some kind of breakthrough, some kind of transformation, and we'll have some fun doing it along the way. So you have a great day. Have an amazing week. Have a dynamite second quarter, and let's get ready to rumble. All right? Take care. Bye-bye.